Captain America directing a romantic movie? Okay. Before we go. Alright, so before we go, it's a movie directed by Chris Evans, otherwise known as Captain America. It's also starred Alice Eve, who was in those romantic movies like She's Out of My League. And she was also in the last installment of the Star Trek movie. And what this movie pretty much is it's a movie that takes place entirely one day. And you have Chris Evans, who's like a jazz performer, who is really down on his luck, and he meets this girl, Alice Eve, whose character is she's trying to get home back to Boston to save her marriage. What I enjoyed about this movie was the performances, and I also really liked the direction of Chris Evans in this movie. It was a very indie film, which I really appreciated, but I really liked the chemistry between Chris Evans and Alice Eve. Now, there is problems with this movie. Like, first off, it's very cliche, and if you think you've seen this movie before, you've seen this movie before. It's got a terrible score on Rotten Tomatoes, but I think it deserves a little more credit than what it's actually getting. The movie takes place entirely one day, and you see these two really grow their friendship and maybe something more if you catch the movie. Also, what I really like, it's really like a love letter to New York City. That was a really cool element to the movie, because they're both like kind of foreigners. They kind of traveled to New York to experience what was going on. But in conclusion, before we go, it's an alright movie. If you're looking for a romantic movie, watch on date night, check out this movie. Chris Evans, who's more known for playing Captain America in the big blockbusters movies, does a really good job in a really small performance, and he does a well job of directing this movie. Alice Eve is also really good in this movie as well, and I'm going to give, before we go, a C+. So guys, have you seen Before We Go and what are your thoughts? Comment below, let me know. As always, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and subscribe to see more. All too easy.